Hi everyone. Well, I have the chassis out. It's mounted on this nice piece of board. Makes it very easy to get a hold of everything, all the tubes and whatever. And this is what it looks like. There's no rust at all. Dial turns nice and smoothly. It's almost like a new condition, and the chassis is really clean. There's the old nasty line cord. I'll be replacing that, of course. And there's the 5 tubes. And as you can see, the chassis was very clean. The only thing that was on this that took a couple of seconds was to just fire up my air compressor and just blow out the dust. And took a cloth and just got whatever bits of other dirt that were off there. It took no time at all. Cleaned into the plates of the capacitor really nicely. And well, I guess it's time to get out my hex driver. Probably the easiest thing to do is put the camera on the tripod. Cut this old cord off, useless. Just gets in the way anyways. And we'll unbolt these bolts here and see how it looks underneath. Still haven't decided on this. I don't know if there's a little matching impedance matching transformer. So you can see here, that's a regular audio cable. So there could be some kind of impedance matching transformer between the needle cartridge and the audio amplifier. I don't know, but we'll take that apart and see what's inside. And okay, next put the camera on the tripod and we'll take it off the board. Okay, we're ready to cut off this nasty cord. Keep everything out of the way. Top up this board. And I guess what we'll do here first is take off this control here for the phono and back to the radio. Everything comes off nicely with a 1/4-inch hex driver. I guess I'll rest that right there for the time being. All the screws are the same length. That makes it nice and easy. Just like working in cars, it's always the last one that gives you trouble. I just can't seem to get a good enough bite on the head. There, I think I finally got it. Well, that wasn't too good. Another thing that happens when I work on cars. Okay. That's the board. And let me zoom in here. That's pretty good. Well, it looks like all the paper caps have still are the original. I haven't seen any modifications at all. Let's take a look with the flashlight. Let's see. Paper cap. Paper caps. Resistors don't look burnt. Everything looks like in great shape. The capacitors haven't been losing their wax very much. There's no drippings or bulging that I can see. It's a big electrolytic here, and the rest of them look like paper caps. These are Solars and other miscellaneous brands. So we'll just order those up. It looks really good under there. This may be the transformer. Maybe it's an audio output transformer. I haven't looked at the speaker. You know, I don't even know if it's a permanent magnet type or a field coil type. So I got to look into that. And I'm curious about that. I haven't looked at the schematics yet. Just didn't feel like it. And so I'm just kind of curious to see what this is. So let me get a screwdriver. I'll be right back and we'll open that up. Find out for once what that thing is. Yeah, I hate this. Everything is upside down and backwards on my viewer. Okay. You know, I've worked on a few radios, antique radios, and I don't ever remember Phillips screws. I'm sure there are, but straight slots, sure. Hex heads, sure. Combination of both, yep. The Phillips, I think it was the first time I ran into a Phillips screw. Alrighty then. Well, it's lined with, looks like cardboard just to insulate it. And there we go. No transformer. It's just a wafer switch and a microcapacitor. And this is just a sleeve. Oh, that's it. No impedance transformer. There. Time to look at the schematics and see if there is one. But in the meantime, that's where you can see it's a standard plug and jack. Or you can't see. Let's try that again. You can see here there's a regular plug that goes in there to power the turntable. And this thing does not have a dial light. It has a light. It has a light. Let me move the camera here. Alright. It has a light, but it doesn't light up the dial. What it does, and I've seen this before, I have a Philco, large Philco, and it has a radio and a record player too. And it also has a light that just shines through a glass bead through the case. And I think the reason for this is that you're playing a radio, a regular radio. You know it's on because it's playing a station. Okay? But say the scenario was you played a stack of records and then you just walk away. To remind you that it's still on, I think that's why they put the light. Because if the record player stopped, the amplifier would still be on. And you'd want to know that. Save electricity and wear and everything. So they added a light. So no dial light, but a light to indicate that it's on. And really nice looking chassis. It's like new. So should be a nice easy restore. I don't see why there would be any problems. Unless of course there's a opening one of these coils or something like that. But and that should be pretty easy. So I I think I'll order the parts through Mauser. A lot of times what happens is, matter of fact, every single radio I've done except for the very first one, is if they have canned capacitors on the chassis, which as you can see this one doesn't, I'll remove the capacitor, I'll uncrimp the bottom of it, pull the can out, and usually put Nichicon capacitors. So anyways, it doesn't have canned capacitors. So it's going to make my job a lot easier. Don't have to restuff them or anything. Just put brand new electrolytics here and here, and replace all the paper caps, and I'll check all the resistors for out of tolerance too. And I'll be ordering the parts through Mauser. And that's the whole unit right there. I guess my next video, while I'm waiting for parts from Mauser to come in, is to work on the turntable a little bit. I'll replace that bad frayed line cord, and I'll set up some kind of a jig to hold the turntable up a little bit so I can plug it in and fiddle with it on the bottom at the same time so I can have access to it. Maybe just use some 2x4s or some scrap lumber like that. Nice little label there, Majestic, and then the serial number, made in USA. Hope you can see that okay. Alright, time to order up some parts.